What's up, everybody? So, if you follow this channel for any period of time, you know that I am a big Space Marine fan. Loyalist Astartes is what I do. That's what I've collected since I started, and they're my, I guess you could say, most favorite thing of 40k thus far. But what's cool about the 40k setting is that I enjoy a lot of what's going on. All the factions have something of interest to me to learn about, and I like that. Not every game has that going for them, for me. But it's a fun setting for that reason. And Chaos Space Marines are pretty interesting. I don't give Chaos enough screen time, purely because it's not my primary thing that I do. It's not something I really do much at all. But I still give them thought. I still look into them. I still find them interesting from the splinter cell style of, or splintered off groups of chaotic warbands of Astartes, to renegade chapters throughout post-heresy time period, to the original Traitor Legions, is all very interesting. And for me, the original Traitor Legions hold a special place because they are the whole reason. They are responsible for why the Imperium is in the state it's in, why the galaxy is basically in the state it's in, outside of a Tyranid invasion, of course. They're responsible for all of that shenanigans, you can say. So that's kind of a big deal. And I thought, why not do a top 3 listing of my favorite Traitor Legion forces? So let's dive right into it, and feel free to share your thoughts on your top 3 as well in the comments section below. So we're looking specifically at Traitor Legions, which are the first founding Traitor forces. So coming in at number 3, just eking out the Night Lords for the number 3 spot. Night Lords are a nice honorable mention, visually striking with the lightning motif on their dark blue armor. Very chaotic, evil, insane Batman. The Legion is kind of cool too, so worth mentioning, but they just got beaten out by the Alpha Legion. And I say just, and that's purely because of why Alpha Legion is in the number 3 spot and not the number 2 spot. So the Alpha Legion is very cool. I really started liking them when I read the Legion Horus Heresy novel, which was kind of their fall from grace, why they went traitor as they did. It's a big reason why we have all the memes of forgetting which side they were on and all that. But as a Traitor Legion force, they're really cool. And we're going to keep this looking at it at a very post-heresy level. So with that said, though, visually very striking from their pre-heresy color scheme, which you could still do as a traitor force. You could still do that color scheme post-heresy and it'll look great. Really visually striking. 2 of their post-heresy color changes, because we've had their color scheme shown in the Chaos Space Marine Codex for several editions being changed, for whatever reason. All kind of very similar to each other thematically, and it's always looking great. You could do them simplistically, or you could do the whole Hydra scale motif in their color if you want to get complex and crazy. It always looks good. So visually appealing. Combat doctrine is everywhere and anything, whatever it takes to achieve victory. I know it's very complex, and they do very complex, advanced things in their combat doctrine, but really at the end of the day, when you boil it down, they do what it takes to win. They'll throw salt in your eye, punch you in a previous wound, break the bridge you're standing on, whatever it takes to beat you. And while not being the most honorable thing, they don't care. Victory is victory, and there's something refreshing about that, and it's just cool to see the practicality in such an advanced, complex way. They're hitching you at multiple levels, at the same time, 1,000 fronts of battle hitting you simultaneously, numerous false main battle lines that might become the main battle line wherever the advantage goes. I like how they encourage a lot of independent thought and a lot of improvising on the fly on a squad-based level, which is very cool, very self-sufficient, the Legion is. They will cause political unrest, local populist insurrection, sabotage, assassination, sieging, lightning strikes, hit and runs, all at the same time if necessary on different fronts across multiple planets to really destabilize an area and achieve victory. It's head-spinningly complex, the concept that they're going for, and in the way the fluff is intended, but again, it boils down to really just practicality of beat the enemy. If we gotta cause an upheaval of insurrection from the populace on the planet to help achieve this goal, to destabilize and weaken the enemy's defenses, so be it. They're not averse to doing whatever it takes, whatever tactic to win, and that's really practical, and I do like that. As a result, the consequence of this is a good thing. it allows for any playstyle to have an ability to collect Alpha Legion. You don't have to look at this force and go, well, it doesn't fit my playstyle. The fact is, it fits any playstyle. So that's kind of really neat. And for what they do, they make a great plot point for a novel, a tabletop RPG, a video game. If there was a movie or an ongoing series for 40K, they would make a great plot point as well. You don't need a lot of Alpha Legion to cause trouble, and that makes for a great kind of story intrigue. They're one of the when in doubt, throw this at it. Only there for the more subtle, more insurrection style of stuff, and the other two that I can bring up for without much thought is when in doubt, throw orcs or Tyranids at it. But if you want something more chaotic, but you don't want Black Crusade level of invasion, the Alpha Legion is the way to go. So with that all said, really do enjoy them. The reason they're at number 3 is because of their fluff. Now, truth be told, because of the color scheme being refreshing for me, I would, if I couldn't collect the number 1, obviously, I would collect Alpha Legion over my number 2 pick, even though my number 2 pick is there because of concrete lore reasons. Nothing against number 2. I'm just not a fan fully of the whole wishy-washy nature of Alpha Legion lore. I always look at the lore of forces in this way. We are the omnipotent, omnipresent reader of this fictional universe. We exist outside of it, obviously, because it's a fake universe. So we kind of read it with a God's eye view, if you will. We know things that obviously other factions wouldn't know about certain factions. Deep-rooted and closely guarded secrets we know, and it helps us establish likes or dislikes of certain forces. And with the Alpha Legion, we don't get a real chance to do that because anything that we're told in one edition, it seems like the developers or the creators go in and go, okay, let's just make that false. Let's just blatantly say that's a lie. Maybe the fact that we're calling it a lie is a lie. Maybe it was a half-truth with a quarter bit of lie or a lemon twist of truth with lies. It gets too wishy-washy when that's always happening. It seems every edition they just run contrary to what they're saying. Even contrary to what's going on in the novel series, it seems like they like to bring up specific things that are lies that we thought were true. So it just gets a little too wishy-washy for me personally, but I can see the appeal to that. It helps spawn all those memes and everything, and there's still a cool force. There's still some concreteness to them. It's just I wish there was a bit more. I don't mind wishy-washiness, but when that's kind of the overwhelming vibe you get off of a force, it tends to make me go, I wish it was a little more concrete stuff going down. So with that, the number 2 spot goes to the World Eaters. Now, nothing against the World Eaters. They're fully deserving of being here. They are the only cult legion on this list, meaning they're devotees to one particular chaos god and follow that path above all else. They're a bit fractured as a legion as well, but they're still the World Eaters, and they're still fantastically brutal. There's something really refreshing about how different they are from the Alpha Legion, as you could say, and how straightforward yet inevitable they are, right? Because they're not simplistic, they're not simpletons, or anything like that. They are approaching death, murderous intent that you see coming, you know how it's coming, but you can't stop it anyway. And that's what I like about the World Eaters. They will take your skull for the skull throne for corn. They will let the blood flow. You know they're going to do it. You know how they're going to do it. You see it brutally happening to those before you, but you still can't stop it. And that's really menacing and really cool. So, with all that said, visually very striking as well, from their white and blue pre-heresy color scheme to their post-heresy red with brass, very menacing looking. You can do the red kind of Tisca Ruby style, where you have the red look very much like a polished lacquered red alongside the brass. It's very visually striking. Very fitting for the followers of Khorne. And their playstyle, while completely contrary to what I like to do, would be fun to do. And it's not as simple as you might think. If you're not careful, you get tabled very easily. So there's some nuance to doing this very obvious approach, but inevitable approach in the lore, right? They just come forth for you, and there's the berserker fury that's coming down is so overwhelming and menacing that the lore-wise, the defenders are left incapable of stopping it a lot of the time. So a very cool force, very refreshing in that regard, and very menacing. I do like that. So that's the World Leaders. Not too much to really say past that. It's not saying as much as I did with the Alpha Legion because of how straightforward it is. It's not all this wishy-washy nature. So this is all well and good, but what takes the cake for me, what is number one that I would definitely collect above these two and above all others, if I were to ever have to go and collect the Chaos Force, is Iron Within, Iron Without. Perturbo and his Iron Warriors Legion is absolutely fantastic. Their playstyle, their combat doctrine fits so well with me as a player, what I like to do, that it's like they were purpose-built to be that way for me. B, visually very striking in terms of being very utilitarian, industrial, very much get the job done. We don't need to be parade shine or anything like that. We need to be functional. And you could call their color silver or steel. I feel because of how grungy the color scheme takeaway is, we have to call it iron. It's iron colored armor with black, and then of course black and white, black and yellow chevrons wherever you want to help it pop. So black and yellow chevrons, really nice for making the model pop, like I mentioned, whether it's vehicles, whether it's on their weapon, whether it's on a shoulder pad. The very brutal, in-your-face iron-colored armor is fantastically utilitarian and practical. Just everything about the Legion ticks right boxes for me. Perturbo, their Primarch with his wrist cannons. I mean, how fantastic is that? They're called wrist cannons. He's got a bodyguard of automaton slave to his will, very fitting of the Primarch of the Iron Warriors Legion. They're about efficiency. He's got a brutal hand when necessary. No pomp and circumstance. Just break the enemy to pieces and move on. Really kind of a different take on a style of warfare that the Imperial Fists also do. The two very different. They've had a long-standing rivalry, turned bitter hatred, with the heresy and everything. So it wasn't a healthy rivalry either. Hopefully, if the Iron Warriors were able to stay loyal, which they, of course, we know they are not, but if they were, hopefully that rivalry could have been mended to be a healthy one. But it's a real shame because I really enjoy the Iron Warriors with their Metal Storm siege approach. Just everything works so well for me aesthetically, lore-wise, combat doctrine-wise, that if I say all I would be doing is continuing to gush about the same things over and over by constantly saying more about the Iron Warriors. I just really like it. It's so brutal and utilitarian and just get the job done that it's really nice. As weird as that might sound. If I had to go and collect a force that would be Traitor, for a 30k army list turned Traitor-y 40k army list, it would have to be Iron Warriors. They basically invented the Havoc Squad, which is a fantastic squad. They have so much going for them for what I like that it was almost a no-brainer for me when I was thinking about this list that the Iron Warriors just have to go there. They're also the only pure metallic as the main armor color force on this list, and I'm trying to do a quick thought process. I think they're the only one like that for the Traitor Legions and for the first founding. I think I could be forgetting something blatantly obvious, but anyway, but yeah, it's a very good look. A metallic armor scheme always looks good on Space Marine armor, whether it's super sharp and clean and polished or just clean yet grungy like the Iron Warriors. It always comes off very nicely. It helps reflect the force's nature and demeanor a lot, depending upon the shine and grunge of it. So we have a real good personification of kind of the Iron Warrior's spirit in their armor. So cool force all around. Definitely something I would collect if I had to collect the Chaos Force. Anyways, well, I also should say, outside of doing black and yellow chevrons, it also will go pretty quickly. It's a pretty efficient color scheme to paint, which goes with their very efficient way of doing things and all that jazz. It's a wonder that they don't run out of ammunition ever. But anyways, with that all said, thanks very much for sticking through this ramble. Share your thoughts and your top 3 in the comment section below, and let's have some fun with it. So thanks very much for stopping by. If you want to stop by again, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And until the next one, take it easy.